How embarrassing. Forgot to close my VTube Studio settings. Alright. Kind of on a roll with this game. I'm probably gonna play it a couple of times in a row before I switch back to some other games. Because I really like it. And I don't know. I don't know. Is it hot right now? I feel like whenever I play a new game, like a game that's freshly released, it's one that doesn't exactly have like a big English following. So nobody else really seems to care about it. Meanwhile, like some of the other games that I played, like Doki Doki Literature Club, is not new, but it has a very dedicated English following who will like just look for channels playing it. Wah 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 wah. I think it's interesting that there's not like it doesn't take you right to load options. It's just like, here you go. I guess because bad ends are built into the game. Sato. I'm so curious about Sato. Oh yeah, you know, there's one, because I was looking up a couple things about mermaids. Nothing like crazy, but, I don't remember where I saw. I think, like, something about, like, the etymology of mermaid. Because I also wanted to see how a couple of their names were written in Japanese, because I wasn't sure. Because I was so curious what Mare, how it was written. I just wanted to make sure it was all actually pronounced Mane, and not like a secret other pronunciation or something. And I think Mare is from like the Latin that mermaid comes from. That the mer comes from. I think it means like ocean or something. That's my guess for where they got why they chose Mare. Like I said, almost all of them have some connection to like water or like weather or like wetty weather kind of things. Some of them I'm not 100% sure of. Oh yeah, you know another thing. Arnav is actually a very popular name, but I didn't know until I looked it up. Apparently Arnav also means water or something like that, which is interesting. I've known somebody with the name Arnav. So let's play Sato Shironami. That's right. She's staying with Wakamura. Also, I'm put on chapstick today. I'm probably gonna not chapstick, but you know, like proper aquaphor to keep my lips from bothering me. But I'm also super thirsty. I guess it is really dry here. I probably am not drinking enough water. So I'm definitely going to try to drink a lot during stream. Alright. Yukimasu. I need to clean my desk. I flipped my craft mat over so the blank side is facing up and the side with lines is facing down. But I think it's also causing like it's rubbing off on my desk somehow. Oh man, my model is freaking out for a second. Let me move myself over just a touch. Oh, Mr. Wakamura, good morning. Oh, it's Kameshimaru. Oh, Sato, you're back. Where have you been? I've been helping out at Tsuyu's place. That thing you got there. Did Tsuyu give you that? She's got the mirror. I just ran into Kikuko down the road. She gave it to me. I still remember my theory from last time. I think it's the mirror. You know what? Was this the symbol that I saw? I think this was the symbol that I saw on the rock. It was so funny. I was watching somebody else play this, and I felt like I was going crazy because I was like, oh, I was like, man, I kept diving because I couldn't break the chains on the rock thingy. And they were like, what rock thing? And I was like, the thing. I thought I needed to do that to progress the story, but apparently you only needed to see the ghost. Yeah, this is I think this is a symbol that was on it. Maybe that's a curse, or maybe it's like the symbol, some other symbol of like the town or of, oh gosh, what was the name of the island that sank? Oh, hold on a second. I watched a tiny bit of, Art's sounds play it, but he did a different route than I did, so I couldn't watch that part. So there wasn't much we could talk about. I was like, oh, let me just. But like, I feel like I'm very like, if don't watch my stream if you haven't played this route yet, or if you haven't done the entire user route yet. Because also, like, I'm throwing out lots of theories right now. I feel like a lot of people seem like they started with Sato route just because I always see like people, like the same thumbnail, these people that I have never seen before. Or people were talking about like the housewife or something. Fine. No matter. You got a moment? Got something important to discuss. Oh, alright. Where are birds? Birds. Oh, oh, oh. Accidentally grabbed something out of OBS when I was trying to turn myself around. Huh. Birds. Oh. I really didn't find any birds on Yusa's route, but I didn't feel like there were very many scenes where I could actually spin myself around. Nice. We'll look at the relationship chart later. Anything else cool? Typical Japanese home. I feel like people associate like Japanese interior style with like very minimal Scandi Nordic kind of style. And I think that there are some similar design ideas when it comes to like the furniture. But like most actual like little Japanese traditional style homes that I see are actually not very minimal in terms of like the stuff they have. In fact, they also contain like a mix of like a lot of modern little plastic baskets, a lot of random crap everywhere. Mr. Wakamura, head of the family, and his son Shotaro are the only two actually living in this house right now. Oh, and me, I suppose. I'm just freeloading here. My family's main home has already moved over to the mainland, so everyone lives over there. This house is only used when they're staying on the island. Huh? Mr. Wakamura only comes a few days a week, and Shotaro usually lives in Tokyo. So honestly, I've been here alone more often than not. Wait, what? House is only the family's main. Oh, I guess not my family, their family. Anything else about it? This is where Mr. Wakamura grew up. Apparently it's been kept as it was, no major renovations. For someone in such a high position, the place really isn't all that fancy. It's not so different from any other homes on the island. People like that about him. Makes him feel more approachable. I guess he is more approachable, but the fact that he doesn't even live on the island full time is kind of... I don't know, do you really want somebody like that as a mayor? Oh, telephone. If only I had a phone number. Oh, it does have like a little doily on it. Can't imagine Mr. Wakamura or Shotaro made it. Someone else on the island must have. It's cute. Looks kind of like it's wearing clothes. Huh. Telephone. Entrance to the house. People stop by every day whenever Mr. Wakamura is home. If someone needs help or wants some advice, they often come here to see the Wakamuras. This is Shinobu Wakamura. He was kind enough to take me in when I was found here. He holds a bunch of posts both on and off the island, and from what I hear, has been a lot of influence. At first glance, he can be a bit intimidating. I've also heard him shouting at subordinates over the phone, so, well, I guess he can actually be rather intimidating too. But with me, he's never been harsh. He's always very generous and patient. Oh. Despite the house often being empty, the household shrine is always kept neat and tidy. Hello, welcome. Been about 3 months since Mr. Wakamura let me stay here. Why would he want to talk first thing in the morning? Usually I'm just left up to my own devices. Uh-oh, finally time. He's gonna scold me for doing nothing but watch TV all day. Alright, let's talk. Sato, it's been, what, 3 months since you arrived? Yeah, that sounds right. You've gotten used to life here by now, I expect. I don't suppose you remember anything yet. Ah, she's got amnesia. No, nothing yet. Still aren't sure who you are then. Let's think back a bit. About 3 months ago, the night of the earthquake. I can't remember if they told us about the earthquake. Oh. Ooh, she's naked. I happened to pass by the bay, where I found you washed up on the shore. Right. Still can't remember how that came to be. Scared me good, I'll tell you. Grabbed a blanket and carried you back here right away. Aw. The fact that, like, everybody was, like, speculating she was, like, an indentured servant, and really she has no memory and he saved her. Oh my gosh, I just drank, like, a whole glass of water. Ugh. But even after you woke up, you didn't remember anything but your name. Oh, okay, she knew her own name. You didn't have any belongings either. It was like you had run from somewhere with nothing at all. Not even clothes. I'm so sorry you had to find me like that. Not to mention, you didn't seem to know a thing about everyday life. Maybe you grew up in the hills or were overly sheltered. But you couldn't even put on clothes properly. You didn't even know how to turn the lights on. It was as if you didn't know the first damn thing. The fact that her wounds healed made me think she maybe ate mermaid's flesh or was a mermaid. I'm leaning towards was a mermaid. She's kind of an aerial situation. I actually kind of wondered too, because her interest in TV especially made me think that, like, maybe she'd never seen it before, either because she was from, like, a different time period. Aerial but amnesia? Yeah, I guess. Maybe if when you change to a human form, you can't remember your mermaid past. Yeah, but since that, I've been watching loads of TV. I've learned so much. Honestly, I'm kind of impressed at how fast I managed to pick everything up. Either way, I figured you were a special case. But there had to be special circumstances. So I decided to say you were a relative of mine and keep you here until you remembered something. Yet you still haven't remembered a thing. That's right. I'm sorry for all the trouble. I was really hoping you'd have remembered something by now. Running out of time, we need to move on. Running out of time? Sorry, Sato. There's something I need to do. Me? But I can hardly do anything, right? Yes, you. Let's stop dancing around it. I had a reason for taking you in. To put it plainly, Sato, you aren't a human, are you? Huh? Man, everybody is very well versed and aware of the mermaids, huh? What? Where did that come from? What's that supposed to mean? Whether you truly can't remember or you're just playing dumb, enough is enough. I haven't told a soul on the island, not even Shotaro. Told them what? That night when I found you washed up in the bay. You were already dead. What? I've seen my share of drowned bodies before. You had no pulse. You weren't breathing. You were without a doubt nothing but a corpse. Nothing could have saved you. I figured that was that. Turned around to call the police. But then, right before my eyes, your body mended itself, and you started breathing again. The rest is as I told you before. When I said you scared me good, that was because you suddenly came back to life. I only took you in because I realized there was no way you could be a regular human. I don't know what to say. Are you saying I can come back to life if I die? Do you really not know what you are? Maybe it's like in that movie. The one with the zombies? Maybe I'm one of those. You don't look raw enough to be a zombie to me. But honestly, you can call it whatever you want. Oh, he's done? Oh, there we go. I did wonder why you took me in and treated me so well. I guess if you knew I'd die and come back, then the reason you were being so kind was... Well, yes. He wants the magic. Wanted to know your secret. If I could figure out how you came back, it'd be worth a fortune. Oh, he's not so nice. But I get it. Doesn't mean I wanted to be rough with you. Plan was to let you settle in, and once you remembered, we'd talk. Oh, well, that was very gentlemanly of you. Thank you. I did wonder whether that was a one-off thing or something you could do again and again. I even thought about taking a blade to you to test it. Yeah, he's not good. He's a bad man. He's a bad man. But if it really was a one-off thing, that would have been too risky, so I decided to wait and see. Right. Not so gentlemanly. Anyway, things have changed now. There's no time to be kind anymore. I'm out of options. This is an emergency. But I don't want this to get ugly. First, I just want you to hear me out, okay? All right. Ever since I was a youngin', I've had support from a certain benefactor. Getting this far in one lifetime, all my money, connections, and success was all thanks to his backing and advice. Why bring this up now? Be quiet and listen. Those who owe him call him Unkakudono, a title given to those elevated above the clouds. That's how highly we regard him. Elevated above the clouds. Sounds pretty important. Sure is. He's from an old noble family, a real big shot with land and businesses all across the prefecture. Anyway, I met with him yesterday and I ended up telling him about you. Oh. About me? I figured nobody would believe me if I told them about a girl who could resurrect herself from the dead. I just mentioned it in passing, expecting him to laugh it off and move on. But to my surprise, Unkaku Dono was real interested. Asked all kinds of things. I don't like where this is going. Haven't even said anything bad yet. Maybe. Sounds like you're about to say he wants you to hand me over to him or something like that. Well, you're not wrong. Unkaku Dono demanded I give you to him. Ugh. He wouldn't take no for an answer, even putting a deal on the table that was hard to refuse. But you still told him no, right? I know you're strong enough to tell him no. Alright, your silence is scaring me now. What's that face supposed to mean? It would seem Unkaku Dono has quietly been researching immortality for years. Immortality? He's pretty serious about it too. Says even the smallest rumors are worth looking into. Last year, when all that rite of resurrection nonsense was going on in Tokyo, he used the opportunity to gather information. Yeah, I was gonna say, I wondered if this was going to be related to the, that old businesswoman. I can't remember her name from the Honjo cases. But they said now it's a guy, so I don't know. I've never even heard of that. Is it that big a thing? If I'd known he was so interested, I would have never brought you up. That is a good question because we saw his multiple routes of the Honjo mysteries. Makes you wonder which version of the story he's heard of. What ending happened in this guy's universe? So you're saying you couldn't refuse him? Anyway, let's just say I'm in a bit of a situation with no easy way out now. It'd be better if there was a way to not have to take the deal, so I pleaded with him to give me more time. Oh, I knew you'd come through. Thank you. Which brings me to what I need to ask you, Sato. If you stop hiding things and tell me everything you know, I won't make this harder than it has to be. Well, tell me, have you heard people on the island talk about the curse of the raging waves? Raging waves? Doesn't sound like a nice curse. So you haven't heard of it. Let me explain. So the disaster 5 years ago, that was all because of the curse? And it was created from the lingering resentment of all the people who died on Taishima 400 years ago? If that's true, it must be a very powerful curse. No doubt about it. I forget how many people were on the island, like... Oh gosh, was it like 400 or something? 300? How many people? Oh, 900. Okay. Yeah, if it could kill like 900 people, that's a pretty good curse. That's where you come in, Sato. I believe you're the one calling the curse down upon us. You're the Raging Waves curse bearer. Huh? Come on, you can't be serious. The timing fits perfectly. Things started taking a turn for the worse right after you arrived. And more than anything, I know you're not human. Just admit it. You're the one bringing this goddamn curse to the island. Absolutely not. I don't know anything about it. You've got the wrong person, I swear. I was willing to wait until I understood how you came back to life, but now I'm out of time. But I mean, if she leaves the island, would they not be cursed anymore? Whether you don't know or you're just playing dumb, I don't really care anymore. I just need to get rid of the goddamn curse. If you do, I'll never mention any of this again. You can even keep living here, watching as much TV as you like. I'll cover for you as long as you need. Huh. I feel like if she says very well, she'll just say that, but doesn't actually know. I can't. I didn't even know about the curse, let alone how to get rid of it. I'd love to take you up on the offer, but I just don't know how. So even the one who brought this curse upon us doesn't know how to lay it to rest. And I suppose I have no choice but to take Unkakudono's deal and hand you over. You see, Unkakudono claims he already knows how to break the curse of the raging waves. Oh? Why would he know that? I've warned him about the curse many times. I suppose he must have dug into it. I mean, if he knows, but he hasn't told you. I suppose you'll have to be an offering to Unkaku Dono. One necessary to save Kamishima. An offering? I mean, like a sacrifice? In this day and age? Surely there's a way to save Kamishima that doesn't involve killing anyone. You can find a more humane route. You really think he'd just hand over that information while he's got leverage? Use your head. If you can't help, then refusing his method of lifting the curse isn't on the table anymore. That means there has to be a price. It's just how deals work in the business world. I don't care about the business world. Come on now, you think I have a choice? Yes. I don't want to give my body to somebody researching immortality. He could kill me. But that's the thing. There's no need for you to worry about that. You won't stay dead. You'll live through whatever happens, won't you? I refuse. I have a promise I have to keep no matter what. You? All you do is eat, sleep, and watch TV all day. What promise could you possibly have to keep? I can't say. Not right now. I bet it's a promise. It's either to Tsukasa, but I also think it could be to Tsuyu, because she goes over to our house a lot. What nonsense. You're just saying whatever to save yourself. You realize you're choosing to stand against protecting everyone on the island from disaster. Do you really want that on your conscience? Not to mention, you're the cause of this mess to begin with. It's time to take responsibility. No, that's not true. You're blaming the wrong person. If, well, I was gonna say, like, if maybe when one mermaid comes out of the sea, it causes the curse to take place, but I was like, no, Mari was, like, around for at least, like, 15 or so years. It was, like, at least 13 years, because that's how long, that's how old what's-his-face was, Yuza was. So, obviously it wasn't in a rush, if that was the case. You live here and eat at our expense for months, and then refuse one request? Unbelievable. I'm sorry, I don't know what else to say. The handover is tomorrow night, the 8th. The transport boat will slip out of the port. Until then, do as you like. And don't bother trying to escape the island. I've told the ferry not to let you board. There's nowhere on this island my eyes don't reach. Oh no. This is awful. Is he serious? He wants to use me as a sacrifice? I mean, it's true I'm in no position to refuse, but no, there's no way. What do I do? What can I do? Okay. If I'd done this 5 years ago, maybe I could have stopped it. I won't make the same mistake. Alright, see you later. I'm going out for a bit. Fine, talk to whoever you want. Won't change a thing. No one here will defy my decision. Alright, only one place to go, I guess. Does she have... Oh, the same desk. Is this just like a cardinal for like north or something? I don't know. That reminds me, I have to go back to, I have to do the diving minigame at some point to get the other stickers. You would think I would have found all of them by now, but I didn't. I was missing a couple. Seabed. Did I miss any in Yuza's area? I should tell you if you missed something in a specific area. Alright, I'm just missing one on the ocean. Jafar vibes? Kind of. I kind of get what you mean. I'd say Jafar mixed with the Sultan, because he doesn't... Because he's the one who's, like, gonna give her away, almost, you know? Although I sort of... I mean, I don't know. I kind of get it, but also, like, he definitely went back to being a jerk real fast. Everything's about money with that guy. That's all there is. But then again, like, if you think about it, like, if 900 people are going to die, or even half of that, like, you know, it's worth being a little anxious. But then again, like in the tragedy 5 years before, it was only like what, 10 people died, which is still a tragedy. That's still like also like 10% of their island. But wait, is it 10%? How many people are on the island again? You know, you know what I'm saying. It's 1%, which is like, you know, oh, that's so sad. But it wasn't like an insane amount, you know. Like if it had been 100 people or 10%, that would have been like, wow. Panicked and came all the way out here, but oops. What the hell am I supposed to do? Whatever happens, I still have to keep the promise I made to Tsukasa yesterday. Hey, Sato. Oh, this guy. Finally caught up. Do you have a minute? Shotaro. Good timing. I had something I wanted to ask you too. Oh? Go ahead. Let's see. Probably no bird out here, right? Oh, power lines. Everything reminds me of city skylines, my beloved. Alright, anything interesting in the background? I guess not. Just surroundings. You know what? Some people talk about loving like a clear sky without a cloud in it. I love a sky that has really big white clouds, you know? I feel like it adds a lot of depth to it. Like a totally cloudless day, some people really like, but to me it just looks a little plain. Wide Beach lies on the southeastern side of the island. It's blanketed by the sound of waves. Oops. Yeah. Rocks. I believe the big rock on the coast is called Senjo Iwa. Means something like thousand-fold rock. A bit of a local landmark. It's a nice rock. Seems like the kind of rock a mermaid would like. Shotaro. Shotaro came back from Tokyo about 2 weeks ago to visit his family here. He was already staying at the Wakamura residence, so that's when we first met. Oh, excuse me, hold on, let me... Ever since then, he's been checking in on me a lot. Like, he's really concerned about me. Yeah, I wondered if he had a crush on her, but then I was like, wait, isn't he... I think he's quite a bit older, because this guy's 18. She's probably about 16 or so. Oh, she's 17. And he's 21. Oh, okay, no, they're actually closer. I was thinking he was like 24 and she was 16. I was like, that would have been... I mean, I guess for some people, 21 and 17 is too far, but... It's not as far as I thought it was. He's not a bad person at all, and I can see why so many people like him. For some reason, it feels like we come from completely different worlds. Like we see things in a completely different light. To be honest, I feel there's a kind of distance between us as people. How long has Shotaro been chasing after me? Was he just waiting for me to be alone? Well, he doesn't like his dad, I believe. Or at least not, he doesn't want to be like him. What's up? Right, so I wanted to let you know... Sorry, I overheard your conversation with my old man earlier. You did? How much did you hear? Pretty much the whole thing, I think. The house really has paper-thin walls. I heard about the curse, the sacrifice, you coming back to life. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. Honestly, it caught me completely off guard. Can't believe my old man's going on about all that. It's so ridiculous. I mean, who actually buys into that kind of superstition? Don't worry, Sato. I won't let him do this. I'm on your side. There's no place for something as ridiculous as sacrifices in this day and age. Oh, okay. Is he actually going to be a good guy? Right, I almost forgot. You had something you wanted to talk about too, didn't you? Did I? Well, I guess I got no choice. I know this is a bit sudden, but I was wondering if you have some time later this afternoon? Ah, what for? You inviting me to something? Not exactly, just something a little complicated I want to talk about. Yeah, couldn't we just talk right here now? No, I need some time to prepare. Oh, does she have a crush on him? Ah, I think I see how it is. Or at least maybe he thinks so. You sure this is the time for that, though? Don't you have bigger things to worry about? Well, yeah, but... Even so, I really want you to be there. It's important. I get the feeling it might maybe be a misunderstanding. Alright, I'll be there. Just tell me when and where. Thank you. How about 1 p.m. down by the bay? I'm so curious because we know Tsukasa is crying later on. Got it. I'll be there. Anyway, you don't need to worry, Sato. I'll be your knight in shining armor. You're not going to be sacrificed for anything. That's very reassuring. Thanks. Honestly, in a world where science has advanced as much as in a world with science as advanced as ours, talk of curses, sacrifices, and immortality? Just nonsense. I think my old man has finally lost it. Pretty sure all the influence of that so-called sorcerer from Tokyo. Honestly, it's a disgrace. Yeah, it's a bit out of hand. Just so you know, after hearing all that, I confronted him. Gave him a pretty firm piece of my mind. You did? You spoke to Mr. Wakamura? Sure did. Told him flat out you weren't going to be a sacrificer for anything. Things got pretty heated after that. Oh no, I'm so sorry. You didn't have to go through that. You didn't have to go that far for me. Yeah, maybe it would have been better for him to lay low for now. That way he could maybe help me. Well, you see, I actually have my own reason for not wanting to lose you to something so silly. Sato. Yeah? I'll be direct. Once this whole mess is over, would you consider dating me with marriage in mind? Huh? Wait, what? You and me? I didn't see that one coming. Huh. You know, at first I thought he was into her, and then I thought maybe she was into him. Now I can't. I guess he is into her, but I can't tell if she's into him as well, still. She does have like a little bit of a... She was kind of blushing when she asked to meet him later. But who knows? That could have been something totally different. You carry yourself so much more calmly than other girls. There's something elegant, almost regal about you. It's such a pleasure to see. I feel like I'd do anything if it was for you. You're the first woman that's ever made me feel this way. I think us meeting here has to be fate. We were destined to find each other. Oh, wow, You don't believe in curses, but you believe in fate? Ah, touché. But this time, I feel like I have no choice but to believe. So listen. I'm heading back to Tokyo next week. I was hoping you'd come with me. Oh, wow. Just think it over, okay? I think it'll be a great chance for you. You know what? Let's leave our options open. This is not fair. Dropping that on me right after saying he'd help save me. Frankly, I'm not interested at all. Oh, okay, she's not into it. But if I reject him here and he takes it badly, I might lose his support. I don't know. If he's sincere, I don't think that would make him drop his support. I think he's got his own standard of morals. I need some time to think it over. So you're open to the idea, at least. That's great. Glad to hear it. What? What did you just say? Oh. Look at his face. Why is his eyes so big? What? Why is this music? Is he two-timing? Is he two-timing them? Tsukasa? How long have you been there? I didn't know you were there, Tsukasa. Have you been eavesdropping on our secret conversation? That's not very polite. Secret conversation? That's how it really is. I like how it's like the really tense murder music. Sato, I'm sorry. I had no idea. Wait. Tsukasa, that's not what you think. Oh, she's crying. Is it because she likes me or because she likes him? I really am the worst. I was so clueless. Tsukasa, wait. What the hell is that? sorry. I have to go. His big eyes just looking back and forth. Eh? Okay. We're going farther back. I think I have to choose the other choice. Maybe I should try that real fast. Let's try resume. But, like, this is the kind of game where getting the wrong answers is also kind of fun. Because you kind of want to see all the bad endings, too. To the coast. I can't remember if there's, like, a speed skip. Just... Oh, there it is. I was like, why is it blank? Story chart. Is there a speed or skip? No. Okay, we can go double speed. Oh, that's fine too. Anything else? You like the race color? I like it too. I don't know, his whole design I really like. I wouldn't say that he's necessarily my favorite kind of character, but a lot of the other ones are a little more down to earth. He really feels like, and maybe it's also the name, he really feels more like a tokusatsu protagonist. Alright, let's... Maybe I should have also gone back to the house to do the other answer too. See if anything changed. But, oops, wrong one. Face. Alright, now confess your love. From some angles, he also kind of reminds me of Oikawa from Haikyuu. Let's reject him. I'm not really interested. Oh, is she there too? Oh, I guess that wasn't the thing that changes anything. Oh, eh? Well, let's just go with the ones we have. Oh no, I think this was new, right? Or maybe the cloud means there was something else I could have changed? Let's do the new one for now. And then I'll figure out what I missed there, maybe. Because I think we're supposed to get like a housewife character. At least I thought we were going to get one from doing Sato's. Oops. Let me take it off auto. After much hustle and bustle, we finally managed to make our way to Issei Bay. Nice. Take it all in now. We're standing on the coast of Nakabeppo in Mie Prefecture, Kawage Town. Which means this is the Sea of Issei. The connection to the eternal world. How amazing. Indeed it is. Come, Circe. Henceforth begins our grand adventure in search of the legendary mermaids of Issei Bay. Amazing. I just can't stop saying it. Without further... Who's he talking to? Me? Without further ado, my name is Arnav Barnum, an American-born fantasy author. Please call me Avi. Why does he have an Indian name? He's got blue eyes and he says he's American, so. Who are you introducing yourself to, weirdo? Ah, well, simply thought a new beginning called for a little dramatic flair, you know? Sure. With that out of the way, perhaps my darling guide can provide some insight into the goings on of the locale. Sure, I've got you covered. Hmm. Well, this area is now called Nakapeppo. Long ago, in a region of Ise Prefecture, it was known as Betsuho. Records indicate that 3 mermaids were caught in a fisherman's net along the coast back in the Heian period. That's what I'm talking about. Let's hear more about those mermaids. They had human heads with mouths of monkeys and teeth and bodies of fish. And they spoke and even shed tears like humans. Ugh. They're the little monkey ones. Huh. Could these be those fish mermaids you mentioned before, Avi? Hangyojin? Indubitably. Yes, this must be the place. I'm getting goosebumps. Right? I feel the same way. This is so exciting. Betsuho. The old name for the area known as Nakapeppo. Kawage town in the Age district. So named during the events of the story, it has since been merged with Tsu City of Mie Prefecture. Wait, what? Oh, because this is the 80s. I thought they meant like during the development. The game development. Said to have been the territory of Taira no Kiyomori's father, Taira no Tadamori. The area has a deep connection to the Ise Heike. Also said to be the location where 3 mermaids were caught in a fisherman's net and presented to Taira no Tadamori during the Heian period. Nakapeppo was so fun to say. The endless expanse of the Ise Sea. The eternal world may lie just beyond the horizon. After all, Ise province is the lands whither repair the waves from the eternal world. The eternal world is purported to be a perpetual paradise. A separate plane from the world we live in, yes? Could it be that mermaids hail from such a place? This young lady is a distant relative of mine, the 3rd daughter of the Lunar Light family. The Lunar Lights have been in business of demonic exorcism in England for several generations now. As such, young Circe has received education on this rare subject from a young age, and is now an apprentice exorcist. In order to continue her training, or more likely simply because of her interest in the area, Circe has come to Japan to study abroad. Upon hearing such news, I sought to employ her as my guide for this mermaid hunting expedition to Ise Bay. I always like that the common word for like exorcism in Japan is kind of a homophone and related to cleaning, which I think is just an interesting connection to like, you know, to purify yourself also means kind of like cleaning yourself. But I also wonder if maybe it's like a connection between like, you know, things like illness that people might have thought were signs of like possession or, you know, otherworldly activities, otherworldly influence, I guess. Upon hearing such news, I sought to employ her as my guide. She's apparently quite fond of Japanese myths and folktales, and has already explored a number of areas concerned with the occult. Oh, she's just like me. Interested in visiting Mie Prefecture at least once during her stay, she immediately agreed to my request. Oh, she's 15. I thought she was a bit younger. Young exorcist from England, currently on exchange in Japan. Possessed of a bold and willful nature, she harbors an ardent interest in Japanese folklore and occult stories. She's quick to involve herself in anything that interests her, not stopping until her curiosity has been completely sated. Although she can be fairly blunt, she shows a naivety appropriate for her age. Around those she's comfortable with, she is not above the occasional prank. Third daughter of Chiara or Kiara. I'm calling her Cersei, so maybe I should call her Ciara. Third daughter of Ciara Lunarlight, the current head of the matrilineal Lunarlight family, a long line of exorcists based in England. Along with her two older sisters, she has received a specialized education in exorcism ever since she was a child, and is currently in training as an apprentice. As the beings known as demons in the West ultimately share the same root cause as harmful supernatural phenomena in the East. Really? I wouldn't have thought so. Spirits of the dead, strong thoughts, I guess I see what they mean. And curses. What she does as an exorcist is fundamentally the same as what Japanese psychics do, with only the methods and terminology differing. But you would think that, like, this still being the 80s and her being from England, she would also be, like, more rooted in, like, religious exorcisms. I feel like in the West, non-religious exorcisms are not nearly as popular. And I feel like the religious differences in the cultures are still pretty great. Primary spiritual abilities. Oh, is she really going to be like the Mio of this episode? Guardian spirits. The ability to call upon numerous guardian spirits of the Lunarlight family and invoke their powers to exorcise spirits and negate certain psychic abilities. Oh, yeah, I was going to say, so she basically has Shikigami. And then, yes, she also has Shikigami, I guess. The ability to turn a piece of paper with an individual's name written on it into a butterfly, which will return to the individual in question. Although she does not have to be the one who wrote the name, it must be Cersei who cast the spell on the paper. Dowsing. The ability to use a pendulum and search for a target based on what the user can sense of their spiritual power. It also helps her find water and gold. The effective distance of the spell depends on the strength of the target's spiritual power. I guess she uses that for dowsing. As far as the girl is concerned, I suppose I could be considered a guardian of sorts. Even so, I often find myself caught up in her pace and completely thrown off guard. If anyone should be shaking things up around here, it ought to be me. We've come all this way to a distant foreign land seeking mermaids. Of course, I have my own reason for trying to locate the mythical creatures. But for now, I intend to scour this land in order to learn as much as I can about its lore and legends. But it occurs to me that I never actually explained the particulars of my Issei Bay mermaid excursion to the girl. No matter. It's nothing of consequence. Really. So I'll just introduce my reasons a bit at a time. Notable works. Fiend of Ringgit and the Solar Crow. Like Yatagarasu. Hermod's Travels. Bon Appetit, the Phantom Gourmand. I see why he's not very popular. Although a grown man, he still has a certain naive boyishness to him, most evident in his passion for romantic tales and appetite for chasing his dreams. However, this also comes with the equivalent amount of immaturity, making him somewhat troublesome to deal with. He believes that most any circumstance he finds himself in will sort itself out, an opportunistic creed that often sees him casually throwing himself into different situations. Are knobs your favorite? Yeah, I kind of got the impression. I think you like his really eccentric personality. Maybe I think he's growing on me a little bit. I wasn't sure, especially talking to Yuza and Azami. He was definitely a little bit too much, but talking just to Cersei, he's a little bit easier. He often remains impressively unbothered even on those occasions. He finds himself in trouble, often managing to slip out of danger with nary a dent on his usual carefree attitude. That he's made it this far unscathed is largely owed to his sheer luck, although he remains blissfully unaware of this. He's currently in Japan seeking mermaid flesh, which is believed to grant immortality. His reason is simple, a fascination with the occult. The pursuit he feels is worthy of devoting his entire life to. He's kind of a Count of Saint Germain wannabe then. If he finds something suitably inspiring, he will readily risk his life for it, and is willing to change his views just as quickly for the same. Avi's interest in the occult was born when he discovered his great-grandmother's vast collection of mysterious occult artifacts in the storage of his family's home in America. Among them was a mermaid mummy which yielded a mysterious map when taken apart, a discovery which captivated his imagination and led to his current quest. His great-grandmother happened to be a relative of the main Lunar Light family in England, albeit one who had chosen not to succeed the family estate. After discovering this through independent research into his lineage, Avi made contact with the Lunar Light family, and continues to maintain a secret correspondence with them to this day. He's very adventurous seeming. Yeah, it definitely seems a little bit more at ease with Cersei. A little bit more, he's still goofy, but a little bit less of a character, less of a front. You know, I've never seen much JoJo, to be honest. I would be willing to go back and give the first episode a try. You know what I mean? The first JoJo. Jonathan Joestar. I think I watched like 1 or 2 episodes of the anime and it was okay. But it didn't like blow my socks off. You know, it was just like, yeah, it was good. I kind of wonder if maybe I should just read the manga instead. Maybe if I can like, because I tend to go at a slightly different pace with manga, which can be a little bit easier to get into for me. I also watched a couple episodes of Golden Wind, and that was also like, yeah, this is okay. But it also didn't like blow my brains off, you know. I know a lot of people like, oh gosh, which one is it? A lot of people like Jotaro the most, I think. But I'm really curious about like Jonathan, and I think that his and Dio's like whole backstory seems like a really, I don't know, it just seems like a classic kind of manga example of the time. Just this long story of melodrama and revenge and pettiness. I don't know. I'm not really planning on doing it anytime soon, but someday I'll try to go back to that, give it a try. I'm definitely not going to be like reading all of them, you know? Not unless I like end up falling in love with it. Kawage Town might be located right next to Mie Prefecture's modern capital, Sioux City, but there's something you have to keep in mind. This was also the birthplace of the Heike, a branch of the Heian period's preeminent Taira clan. If you're going to talk about Ise province, you absolutely have to mention the Heike. I do have a passing understanding of the topic. The Heikei took place in the Genpei War, correct? I'm actually not familiar with Heikei. That's right. That was the war in the Heian period where two great samurai families, the Minamoto and the Taira, locked horns and really got into it. Among the Heikei, Taira no Kiyomori was a particularly famous figure who appears in many creative works concerning the event. I have heard of some of their families, but I don't know what Heikei means specifically. His father, Taira no Tadamori, was the one responsible for securing Heikei's high social standing. So Tadamori was Kiyomori's father, right? With names like that, how could anyone hope to keep them straight? That's history for you. I'm afraid you just gotta memorize them. Suppose you're right about that. Then memorize them I shall. A lot of these really popular Japanese shogun and lords and all that, they actually tend to have multiple names. Sometimes they'll be given a childhood name, which is completely different, and sometimes they'll have a posthumous name. Taira no Kiyomori. I'm always very interested. The women's names from earlier times were very, very simple. Let's see if he had other names. Oh well. My internet's chugging along. Maybe I shouldn't pressure it to load this webpage. Apparently, Tadamori was born in Sioux City in a place called Ubushina. Ah, so that's why they call this place the birthplace of the Heikei. Sioux City. Previously known as Anotsu. Sioux City has served as a port town since the Heian period, after which it continued to flourish as an important port city for Japan. Sioux City is also known as the birthplace of the Heikei. The Ubushina area in its suburbs is said to be where Taira no Kiyomori's father, Taira no Tadamori, was born. Anything else about this place? This is the metropolitan center of Mie and a locus of historical events. I guess that makes sense. I guess that makes it the perfect place to start a new journey. Heikei. I've put together an assortment of files concerning the Heikei, so feel free to look at them when you're interested. Taira no Tadamori. Father of Taira no Kiyomori, an influential figure in the Heian period, was the man responsible for solidifying social standing. Entering the imperial court meant being granted access to the Tenjo no Ma, chamber where those who directly served the emperor performed their official duties. In an era where the warrior class was still considered low status, a samurai rising to the level of court official was unprecedented. The Issei Taira clan went on to extend its influence across various provinces, with the vast wealth it gained through trade with the Song dynasty of China solidifying its foundation. This significant influence was later inherited by his son, Kiyomori. Tadamori was said to have been a man of strong will and perseverance, yet despite the power he amassed in his lifetime, he was said to have been modest and disciplined. To indulge in luxuries. Nuke Maru. Tadamori's sword, an heirloom passed down through the Taira clan. Originally named Kogarashi, it is said to have become known as Nuke Maru when a giant snake emerged from a lake been made to swallow Tadamori whole as he lay resting. At that moment, Kokodashi, which Tadamori had left leaning nearby, slipped from its scabbard on its own accord and drove the snake away. The name, Nukemaru, derives from the word nuku, meaning unsheath, and reflects to the sword's extraordinary ability of slipping from its scabbard on its own to save its owner. It's so funny whenever you have like medieval tales, and it's not just Japan, but like medieval tales of real people who include these like things where I'm like, that definitely didn't happen. Or at least it didn't happen the way it said. Like, I don't believe there was a giant snake that was going to swallow him whole. Do I believe he woke up and saw his sword out of its scabbard? Possibly. Nukemaru was later inherited by Tadamori's son, Yorimori, but after the downfall of the Taira clan, it is said to have changed hands several times and its whereabouts are currently unknown. Mermaids at Betsuho. One time when Tadamori was visiting Betsuho in Ise province, 3 creatures with the heads of humans, lips of monkeys, and the teeth and body of fish were caught in the local fishermen's nets. Dubbing these creatures Ningyo, the original Japanese word for mermaid, the fishermen put 2 of them in a box that had washed up with them and presented them to Tadamori. However, Tadamori was unnerved by their appearance and refused to accept them. Said the remaining mermaid was cut up and eaten by fishermen, who found them to be delicious. Heike. Abbreviated genealogy of Heike. Shigemori. Heike were part of the Ise Taira clan, which itself was the Ise-based branch of the Taira clan, a prominent samurai family of the Heian period. Although the entire Ise Taira clan was greatly influential, Heike refers particularly to the particularly prosperous lineage of Taira no Masamori, Taira no Tadamori, and Taira no Kiyomori. So Masamori is his father. Okay. Known as one of the most prominent samurai families of the Heian period, alongside the Minamoto clan, the Taira clan was originally based in the Kanto region. However, following Taira no Masakado's uprising against the central government in year 935 and its suppression at the hands of Taira no Sadamori, the latter's son, Korehira moved to Ise province, where he came to wield significant political power. This was the start of what would become known as Ise Taira clan. 4 generations on from Korehira, Taira no Masamori consolidated the family's influence in Ise. His successor, Tadamori, was granted permission to enter the imperial court in 1132. Eventually, attaining a rank equal to that of nobility, the distinguished military exploits of Tadamori's son, Taira no Kiyomori, further led to Kiyomori's promotion to Daijo Daijin, Chancellor of the Realm, the highest possible government rank, in 1167. In 1180, Kiyomori's daughter Noriko married into the imperial family, and her son ascended to the throne as emperor, enabling the Heike to consolidate their monopoly on political authority. Wow, they really moved very high up. Thus, the Taira clan came to dominate the political landscape of the time. Such was their wealth and power that one member of the Taira is said to have remarked that all those who did not belong to the Taira clan were considered to be people of no position. However, this golden age of Taira clan did not last long. Their arrogant rule and dictatorial grasp on power led to many turning against the Taira clan, and the stirrings of rebellion soon came to a head, with several prominent figures joining forces in a bid to overthrow them. In the midst of the resulting years of warfare, Kiyomori died of illness in March 1181. Despite losing one of their key members, the Taira clan continued to struggle against their opponents, but to no avail. In 1185, they were finally defeated in Battle of Dan no Ura, and many of its members, including Kiyomori's grandson, Emperor Antoku, who was still a child at the time, were lost beneath the waves of Dan no Ura, burdened with unfulfilled ambitions. It is said that Kusanagi no Tsurugi sword, one of the 3 imperial regalia of Japan, regarded since ancient times as a symbol of imperial authority, was also lost to the sea that day. Western Sea. Divining women encounter the Heike clan at the depths of the water. After their defeat, the surviving members of the Taira clan, now disgraced as fallen warriors, scattered across the country to live out their days in hiding. Even to this day, legends of Taira clan survivors persist in various regions across Japan. Diving women, huh? One thing I should warn you about, though. Huh? This group sometimes gets referred to as Issei Taira as well, which might make things a little confusing. I'll go ahead and label it as Heike. Does it really matter? Aren't they basically the same thing? Not exactly. You see, the term Issei Taira refers to the Taira clan as a whole because it originated in Issei. On the other hand, people generally refer to the family within the clan that included Tadamori and Kiyomori as simply the Heike. That I understand. Their family features prominently in the stories we're interested in, so I'll use Heike most of the time since it has a nice ring to it. Yeah, it works for me. The Tale of Heike, also used Heike. We're awfully particular about this, but I rather like that kind of fastidiousness. Mermaids. Oh, there was more about Heike. Can we get back to those mermaids, though? What became of the 3 were caught in the fishing nets? At the time, lord of the area was Taira no Tadamori. I remember. The fishermen thought the mermaids were fascinating find, so he placed 2 of them in boxes and presented them to Tadamori. Oh, Lord Tadamori must have been pleased. How could he not be? It was well known that eating the flesh of a mermaid grants eternal life. Actually, Tadamori evidently said they were disturbing and gross and refused to accept them. What a waste. However, the fisherman cut up the remaining mermaid and ate it himself. What happened to him? The fisherman said it was tasty. Okay. That's all we got. That's it. That's all I could find in existing records. The act of eating a mermaid's flesh alone may not produce any results. I suppose there may be other requisite conditions, wouldn't you say? Considering the sheer number of eyewitness reports concerning mermaids, it is odd there aren't more immortals walking around. I like her line of thought. Oh, there's a lot of rumors about mermaids. That must mean that there's other rumors we don't know about, as opposed to the fact that some of those are probably untrue. Oh. Don't seem to be any records about what happened to the mermaids that Tadamori refused to accept. I suppose it's possible someone in the Heike clan snuck off with them. That's a hypothesis I can get behind. Anything else about Heike? Yeah, we already said that. I believe I know this one. Dan no Ura is found in Kyushu, is it not? Bingo. The clan was chased out of Kyoto and further pushed further and further west until they were eventually wiped out. It pains me to think of such a resplendently glorious clan meeting such an ignominious end. More's the pity. That's why the Heikei's resentment is particularly strong, and many remnants of it remain even today. Interesting. I'm thinking about how this could tie into the curse of the raging waves, or perhaps even like whatever curse it was that killed people. Because there was a samurai man that killed people on the island. We saw him, the ghost. So maybe that was related to Heikei's resentment. Maybe it was like tied into the mirrors or something? By the, what was his name again? Unkakidono? Shrines and monuments have been erected throughout the land in an attempt to quell that resentment. Ah, now we reach your particular field of expertise. Because the clan fell from such an exalted position so abruptly, that resentment is exceptionally persistent and quite pervasive. That said, famous places related to people like Taira no Kiyomori are well attended by worshippers, so they're relatively stable. It's the puffed up and pretentious Heikei clan members that no one even remembers who caused the most trouble. I seem to recall a large number of individuals going so far as to claim that those outside of the Heikei clan could not even be considered human. If that's the case, are we really safe here? You don't think we might find ourselves assailed by these lingering grudges? Much of Ise province is protected by shrines and the area is suffused with spiritual energy, so we're probably safer here than most places. That's just the land itself. Objects or people that the resentment has seeped into are a different story altogether. Well, when is... Hold on, let me look up the time. Wait, I think they said it. When did they say it took place? What years? Okay. I was trying to think. Because the island sank... How many years ago? 400? 400 years ago. Okay. So no, different time points. Either way you look at it, this region is still home to many places and things associated with the Heikei. Excellent. I believe we've gotten a grasp of the situation at hand. Time we made our move to the next locale. We're on the clock after all. Let's go. Any other thoughts? Thought they'd be more cunning. But perhaps these fish mermaids are in fact nothing more than simple sea creatures. Didn't they say they could talk? It's kind of funny that, you know, he makes the distinction that he thinks the fish people and the people fish are different. But it sounds like they both grant immortality in some nature. Ano Town. I wonder, like, what that outfit is. Like, is it like a uniform, perhaps? Because, like, these kinds of, like, shoulder cutouts are very Japanese. So they don't... It's not her, like, English uniform. It does kind of remind me of, like, the Japanese, like, priestly outfit. I don't know what that overcoat thing is called. There's an area in Ano Town known as Kusawa. Kusawa is famous because of the Yaobikuni legend. I'd be surprised if there was anyone who hasn't heard of it. Sorry to say I've never heard of it. Wait, really? I like that expression. Come on, don't act so shocked. You can't expect me to know every little thing. Besides, I'm not even from this country. The very reason I requested you to be my guide was so that you could teach me things like this. I guess that's true. I understand. Be counting on your explanation. Oh no, town. Has been since merged with Sud City. Located at the foot of Kyogamine, a mountain with a single 819-meter peak, the land surrounding it is rich in natural splendor, with multiple hot springs welling forth from the earth around it. From the Edo period until the Meiji period, it was known for being the primary place of production of tsumoji, a delicate fabric woven in such a way to be semi-transparent. Alright, we gotta look for birds. Aha! I was gonna say telephone pole. Surely. We'll catch up on the bird's history later. Fabled beauty of the serene Japanese countryside. Really is charming. Ah yes, the incessant chirping of locusts combined with the unrelenting heat. This is Japanese summer, alright. Hey man, Japanese cicadas are so summery. That's Japanese ASMR right there. Fascinating to think that such a peaceful place could be home to such profound historic events. You know, I actually learned apparently cicadas can pee. That's quite sad. Apparently it's quite alarming when they pee. People think it's raining. Like, I saw that online, I thought that's not true, and I looked it up, and apparently it is. Unless I'm mistaken, unless I was fooled twice. Although I think cicadas in Japan are much louder. But maybe it's just... Maybe I was just much closer to them. Yeah, I've never seen a cicada pee. I don't know, my only real memory with cicadas, in the States is like, you know, they were around, but my dog, when my dog was, you know, he was never a very big dog. He was kind of cat sized when he was fully grown. But as a puppy, he was pretty small. And when he was still under a year old, I don't know, he was in our backyard and he managed to get a hold of a cicada. And he was always the kind of dog that was like, he's pretty well behaved most of the time, but it was kind of a pain to get him to drop something if he picked it up that he wasn't supposed to have in his mouth. But like, the cicada is so big, it was mostly sticking, like, you know, it was sticking out of his mouth on either side, trying to, you know, his wings flapping, and, you know, it was definitely too big for him to, like, eat. And he also wasn't, like, he wasn't really killing it really very well. I don't remember how we got him to drop it. We were all kind of freaked out. I was like, oh my god! No! Drop it! Eventually we did. Got him to open his mouth. Fascinating to think such a peaceful place could be home to such profound historical events. I'm practically jittering with excitement. The sound coming from his mouth? No, I mean, it was sticking out of his mouth. Like, its wings were kind of sticking out because he was a very small dog. He was still a puppy. Like, it was pretty much the size of his whole mouth. It didn't really fit entirely. I see that. Let's try to keep a cool head, shall we? I love Japanese shrines. They're so visually interesting. This shrine is dedicated to Sugawara no Michizane, We should go pay our respects before we leave. I think that's just like a little local tourism shout out. Oh, oops. I meant to do talk. Legend of Yao Bikuni. Legend of Yao Bikuni originated here in Kusawa, Ano Town. Long ago, a 17-year-old girl named Osato lived in the village. You know, we saw the zoom in on that name and was like, oh, Sato, huh? Sounds familiar. She unknowingly ingested the meat of a mermaid that was served during a village gathering and became immortal. Another subsequently being persecuted by the other villagers, she became a nun and made a pilgrimage around the entire country. At the end of the story, she eventually returned to the village and lived out the rest of her long life. You know what else that kind of reminds me of? There's a Fate character, Fate Grand Order, Fate CCC or whatever. I'm not very familiar with like Fate CCC or anything. I did play a little bit Grand Order, but I honestly didn't pay that much attention to the story. But there's a character named Kiara Seshoin who kind of looks like a nun. And during like one of the Fate Grand Order summer events, she got like a summer skin. And in one of the summer skin forms, she's dressed like a mermaid. I don't remember if she is immortal exactly. She's actually like I don't know how to describe her without giving it away or all of her deal. Devil Bodhisattva. Something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I really like that skin. She's kind of demonic looking, I guess, in her true appearance. I wonder if maybe that was one of the inspirations behind like her and also like her Fate Grand Order alternate skin. I think the other reason why they have it too in game is because like they tie in like a little bit of banter between that character Kiara Seshoin and the other servant Hans Christian Andersen, author of The Little Mermaid. So maybe it's combined with those two. Tales told in other parts of the country play out in the almost. Oh, I can't speak. Hold on. Tales told in other parts of the country play out in almost exactly the same fashion. I guess that's true. Legend of Yao Bikuni, the girl who ate the flesh of a mermaid and lived for 800 years, has been passed down all over Japan. Not only here in Mie Prefecture's Ano town, but in Fukui, Aichi, and Gifu prefectures as well. In total, the story has been found in 121 locations in 28 prefectures throughout the country, or at least that's what search and research has indicated. Doesn't that seem like a lot? Were there really that many different Yao Bikunis out there? Obviously, not all legends can be true. But I actually have a theory on the subject. Would you like to hear it? I mean, if she lived for a long time, she could have traveled a lot. Most of the legends refer to a woman who stopped aging and lived for 800 years after consuming the meat of a mermaid. At that point, because others would find it strange that she wasn't getting older, she wasn't able to live in normal society anymore. I suppose that'd be natural. That would explain why she withdrew from the world and became a nun. Exactly. That's how she got the name Yao Bikuni, the 800-year-old Bikuni nun. With 800 years on her hands, she could have easily made a pilgrimage across the entire country. Interesting. Buddhist priests are known for trekking throughout the lands as a form of ascetic training. If we consider 121 locations where the legend was found, with 800 years to spare, she could have spent 6 years in each location. 6 years would certainly be enough time for her to make a name for herself in each and every location, right? Yeah, I guess depending on how old she was. Did they say that she was like a teen or a young adult? You might notice in 5 years if they haven't changed much. Like, it wouldn't be enough to, I don't know, necessarily think of them as like suspicious or supernatural. You might just think that they still look quite young. Ah, I believe I see what you're getting at. Your theory posits that the stories of Yao Bikuni that have been passed down in every corner of the country all refer to the exact same individual. Might be a bit much to say that all of them are the same. There may have been a few different people. But it's more convincing than the theory that there were 121 people. I also think the Yao Bikuni of Wakasa province is the most likely origin of the legend. I wonder. Don't all the different instances of the story throughout Japan also claim that particular location as her final rest? That may be true, but I assume that each of those different places wanted to have a grave or some other tangible marker to base the legend on. But with so many people that are purportedly to have lived for 800 years, all died around the same time? Seems pretty unlikely. Can you believe some of the tales were established somewhat? That sort of thing happens all the time. Legends are always mixed with truth and fantasy. Moreover, it doesn't make sense that every single immortal would decide to become a nun. There were likely some other places that simply believed Yao Bikuni was the term for an immortal. Rather than a nun, for all we know, she could have said, I'ma be none of that, and become an Amma diver. I was like, what? It's having a hard time understanding him. Badumch. That's actually pretty insightful. Many legends are based on simple semantic misunderstandings. Wait just a minute. I won't stand here and let my dumb joke actually become a salient point of discussion. Let's drop it then. Still, if one were to somehow live for 800 years, a person that became immortal after the Kamakura period could still be alive today. True. If so, I'd love to sit down with them for a long chat. Can Kusawa's legend of Yao Bikuni really be true? Must be falsehoods and fiction mixed into the tale, surely. Earlier, they said... Didn't they just say, like, Wakusa? I don't know, I was confused. Like, are we talking about the same place? Did they mess up? Or is it a different place? Who knows? Hisei province isn't that far from... Oh, here it is. Wakasa province. Oh, it is a different place. Wakasa, not Wakusa. She may have simply walked here from there. The fact that the stories from each different area are so similar does make me wonder if they didn't get mixed together somehow. Ah, you think the legend may be an amalgamation of stories from various locations? Exactly. Then again, the immortal in the story from this location has her own name, which gives the legend a certain verisimilitude. Indeed it does. I guess we can assume that a girl with the name really did live here long ago. Something must have happened to make people believe she had become immortal. reasonable to assume her story then got mixed up with various legends of Yao Bikuni from around the country before being passed down. Of course, the exact timing of these events is still unclear, but that does present an interesting possibility. If she could very well still be living in this village, wouldn't that be a compelling development? Leave it to an occult writer to think of something like that. That's right, you're seeing the prodigious imagination power of the fantasy author in action. It's really something. Oh god, more. The fact of the matter is that almost no traces of Yao Bikuni remain in this village. Even her grave, which is referred to as Lady Yao's tomb, has never been located. We came all the way here for nothing? It might not have a direct connection. Something one should always consider when discussing Issei. Tales of Issei. Have you heard of it? It's the oldest extant collection of Japanese verse, compiled sometime during the Heian period. I'm afraid I'm not familiar with it. I have heard of the tale of Genji, and the tale of Heike. Anything like those? Those stories were also written during Heian period, but that's where the similarities end. Nice try. Well, sounds similar enough anyway. Don't worry, I'm not an expert on the subject either. Basically, this collection of verse elaborates on a number of waka poems by giving accounts of the events surrounding each one. The entire collection of 125 passages is referred to as the Tale of Issei. Easy enough. Tale of Issei. Issei is a collection of short stories. Check. One more thing. The title might be Tale of Issei, but the content isn't all that focused on the actual area. What's this now? They intentionally trying to confuse us? Some believe the title comes from the fact that passage 69 is set in Issei province. At any rate, I just thought I should bring it up because it does have at least a slight bearing on the topic at hand. If you're keen to learn more, I'll add more detailed information to the files. Thank you. I'll be sure to read through them later. Tale of Issei. Adding Tale of to a book title really classes things up. You should keep that in mind. Yeah, and all your stories in Monogatari. It was apparently all the rage during the Heian period. Oh, couldn't agree more. My next work is certainly going to be called The Tale of Paranormasight Monogatari. I suppose that brings this particular subject to a close. On to the next. No rest for the wicked, I say. Time to tackle the next mermaid myth. Okay. Think. If Yao Bikuni really did exist, I wonder what sort of life she led. Can't begin to imagine what it would be like to live for hundreds of years. Imagine living for hundreds of years, but before anime and video games existed. What a waste. Anything new here? Once upon a time, a beautiful girl by the name of Osato lived in Kusawa village. One day when Osato was 17, the flesh of a mermaid was served at a village gathering. The other villagers, disturbed at the thought of eating such a strange creature, refused to eat it. But Osato unknowingly ate the mermaid's flesh. From that moment on, Osato didn't age a day. Shunned by the other villagers and treated as a monster, she was eventually forced to leave the village, becoming a nun. Osato traveled the length and breadth of Japan for hundreds of years, before eventually returning to Kusawa village, where her long life at last came to an end. Issei. Uta Monogatari. Thought to be the oldest surviving work in Japan. It is particularly well known for the opening sentence of many of its prose passages. Long ago there was a man. Believed to have been compiled in the Heian period, it has greatly influenced the literature of the area, including famous works such as Tale of Genji. The central figure of the narrative is speculated to be a fictionalized version of Ariwara no Narihara, a poet of the Heian period, with the prose passage serving as a biography for the character. Both the author and its exact date of publication are unknown. The narrative spans 125 episodes, which vary in length from a few lines to several pages. It covers the life of a man from his coming of age to his death, and focuses primarily on the protagonist and the people around him, particularly his romantic dalliances with women. Some of its most famous episodes are summarized below. Uiko Buri. Having come of age, a man sets out on a ceremonial falconry excursion, where he catches a sight of two beautiful sisters. Infatuated, he cuts off the sleeve of his robe, inscribes a waka poem on it, and sends it to them. Akutogawa. A man, having finally succeeded in stealing away a beautiful noble woman, flees with her to a warehouse, where they take shelter from the rain. However, the man discovers in the morning she has disappeared, devoured by a demon that inhabited the warehouse. Azu Makudari. Feeling despondent about his future, a man embarks on a journey to the east with a group of friends. In Mikawa province, he catches sight of beautiful flowers and reflects on how far his journey has brought him, and recites a poem. In Suruga province, he sees snow on the peak of Mount Fuji, contemplates the passage of time, and recites a poem. In Musashi province, he spots an unfamiliar bird on the shore of Sumida River, recalls his wife and hometown, and recites a poem. His friends all weep upon hearing the latter, moved by his feelings for his faraway town. Tsutsui Zutsu. Close friends from childhood, a man and woman exchange poems and wed. When the man prepares to travel to faraway Kawachi province to come visit his other lover, the woman displays no hint of displeasure as she sees him off on his journey. Suspicious of her actions, the man hides in the garden and watches as his wife makes herself up as beautifully as she can. But when she sits and recites poems out of concern for her traveling husband, he feels profound shame and decides not to go to Kawachi. What a rude guy. The nerve of having a mistress and then being mad at the thought of your wife having her own mister. Kari no Tsukai. Having been sent to Ise province to hunt game, a man is received with great hospitality by the imperial princess, serving as a priestess at Ise shrine. Oh, wow, imperial princess? Attracted to each other, the two attempt to meet in secret, but can find no opportunity to speak intimately. Although they promise one another to meet the following day, it is not meant to be. The two exchange poems of farewell before the man sets out to continue his journey. Hikoboshi. Having fallen in love with a woman who serves in the imperial court, man finally manages to meet her after patiently waiting for the right moment. However, the two are still separated by a screen. The man recites a poem to her, proclaiming that his love for her is greater even than Hikoboshi's love for Orihime. He compares the screen separating them to the Milky Way, which separates the two legendary lovers. Moved by his words, the woman removes the screen, allowing them to meet face to face. Utame Kaura. Well, here we find our next subject of inquiry. What might this place be, my dear? I need to put on more chapstick, jeez. Ugh. Gotta keep my lips greased. This is Futami-gaura, coastline that lies beside Futami town, just over from Ise City. Finally penetrated the outskirts of Ise City proper. Things are certainly beginning to heat up. I inferred that Ise City was the prefectural capital from the fact that Mie Prefecture was once known as Ise Province. Not bad, huh? Well, I can understand how you arrive at that conclusion. But the truth is, Mie Prefecture is composed of 4 separate provinces: Ise, Shima, Iga, and Ki. Is that so? But it doesn't change the fact that Ise City is regarded as a spiritual capital of Japan, making it a very important location. Very interesting. But the sun's already beginning a steady descent, so perhaps we should pick up the pace a bit. Ise City. Didn't we already read this? Having long flourished as the town leading up to Torii Gate of Ise Shrine, Ise Shima. The city is sometimes referred to as Shinto, meaning City of the Gods. Although best known for Ise Shrine, many other temples and shrines can also be found within the city. And overlooking Ise Bay is blessed with an abundance of beautiful scenery, including Mat Asama, which was included in the 100 famous Japanese scenic spots during the Showa era. Futami-gaura. Futami Town. It has since been merged with Ise City. In the Watarai district of Mie Prefecture, as part of the Ise Shima National Park, it has been designated as a place of scenic beauty, considered one of the most scenic spots in Japan. Name Futami-gaura is said to originate from from the area of Yamata-hime no Mikoto. According to legend, the area's beauty caused her to turn to look back upon it, leading to Futami, look twice, becoming part of its name. I can do a 360 here. Futami-gaura Sea is famously said to purify the body, so many visitors to Ise Shrine come here as well. The scenic beauty of the location has even been featured in poems of antiquity. Certainly easy on the eyes. The strands of pine trees along the shore make for quite the striking image. To make it even better, the embankment we're standing on offers a 360-degree view of Ise Bay. Makes you want to get out on the very edge and take it all in. It really does. Being surrounded by the bay like this is such an enchanting feeling. What a breathtaking view. See, nothing else. Nothing else in the back room. Oh. Oh, same. So does this place have any legends featuring mermaids? It does. A record called the Kagenki was written by people at Horyuji Temple after the Kamakura period. In that record, there are a total of 6 instances of information concerning mermaids. 6. That sounds promising. One of those entries describes a sighting here in Futami, Ise Province, on April 3rd during the second year of the Enbun era, which would be 1357. Exact date. The passage is as follows. From the Sea of Futami in Ise Province came En Meiju, delivering perpetuity. So what does it mean? My guess is that the mermaid was spotted in the sea by Futami, and it was named Enmeiju, meaning health and long life, because it granted longevity. Granted longevity did it. Finally, we're getting somewhere. It's another account relating mermaids to Yaobikuni. Seems the idea of mermaids granting immortality had already been established at that time. Indeed, now we have a name. So what sort of mermaid was this, and what became of it? No clue. Again with vague records, these people write down the appearance of some fantastical creature, and then just let it wander off. I haven't personally gone over every bit of research on the matter, but I can speculate on the answer. Records of mermaids in other places also often refer to them by name. In fact, it may not have been all that uncommon for the people of the area to encounter them when these records were written. Let me see if I follow your meaning. Like they're so common that they didn't bother to record much. The same mermaid would appear repeatedly, leading people of the area to grow accustomed to it. Am I on the right track? Exactly. I mean, you wouldn't exactly bother giving a name to something you only saw once, after all. These people may have come to have a kind of rapport with the mermaids. At the very least, it doesn't appear as though they were trying to capture any. Mermaids that people didn't want to capture. Then they weren't seeking its flesh. Perhaps there was another way of obtaining immortality, even without the meat. Perhaps mermaid meat really was just tasty and nothing more. If that were the case, it would make a perfect sense that they would view the mermaid as a divine creature. So they treated it as an auspicious being that blessed others with long life. You may be onto something. This makes me think of the theory you mentioned. 2 different kinds of mermaids. Yeah. He thinks that the monkey mermaids, you eat their flesh and you become immortal. The other mermaids are immortal in nature, and maybe they can just make you immortal some other way? But who knows? Still, it makes me feel a little bit sad for the monkey mermaids. Like, damn, everybody wants to eat your flesh. There's the fish mermaid, which looks more like an aquatic monster or beast. And the human mermaid, which resembles a demi-human or myth. Indeed, that's the simplest way to describe it. Assuming the mermaid in question had a name, formed relationships with humans, and granted longevity, stands to reason it was a human mermaid variety. You have a point. Oh, excuse me. The mermaids we've encountered thus far have all been caught in nets, and appear to be more fish-like. It seems more likely, then, that the mermaids who grant longevity are actually human mermaids. Interesting, that in turn would suggest... My word, would this mean that one could become immortal without eating their flesh? Not sure. There are countless legends that reference the need to consume their flesh. But I can't help but feel like there's more to it. If human mermaids are capable of communicating with us, I'd really like to speak to one. Agreed. Speaking of which, This is completely unrelated, but do you think there's something I've been wondering. Do you mind? Our conversation was just getting good. Protest all you like, but I shall ask anyway. Oh. On our way here, I noticed certain something adorning the entrance of everyone's homes. What was it? This little doodad? Oh, the Somin Shodai talismans. Somin Shorai? Although in most of Japan, they're usually only hung up around New Year, but here in the Ise Toba Shima region, they're traditionally left up all year long. Interesting. I can add more detailed... Yeah, thank you. Ah. What is it? You're making me antsy. Somin Shorai? Come on, Cersei. You realized something about the Somin Shorai, didn't you? You must share. Nothing like that. It just made me think about how close this area is to the eternal world. It is? What does that mean? I suppose you haven't looked at the files yet, but regarding the Somin Shorai, its origin goes back to the legend about the deity Gozu Tenno, who was courting the priestess of Ryugu. Ryugu? That's right. Ryugu is close to this place. In other words, that places it very close to the eternal world. And furthermore, Gozu Tenno is also the guardian deity of the Gion Shoja temple. The very same Gion Shoja, who gets mentioned in our good friend The Tale of Heike. Oh, he's like a real person? So it is. What was it again? From the bells of the Gion Shoja echoes out the impertinence of all things. Wait, is it a person, a place? What is that? Gion Shoja? Sounds so cool, I even haven't memorized. Haven't got a clue what it means, though. As for its meaning, you can look it up yourself. Alright? Ise-shima is a land with deep ties to both Ryugu and Heike. And that is exactly why the Shomin Shodai tradition is well established here. That reminds me. Something about Ryugu Princess that keeps bothering me as well. She's certainly mysterious. About Futamigaura. Dear me, how time flies when listening to your lectures. Sun's already gone down. I suppose I got carried away. Well, if that results in such a lovely view of the sea, I'll not complain. You're right. Just look at all those stars. Ah. Beetlejuice. But look, the heavens are entirely enveloped in a shower of dazzling pinpricks of light. What a sight to behold. Would you happen to be versed in constellations, Cersei? I can usually find Orion pretty easily. Sometimes I can find dippers. Beetlejuice is just so easy to see in the night sky. Well, I've dabbled in a bit of astrology, so I guess I know a thing or two. Of course, the mystic psychic girl knows astrology. Do tell. But we really let time get away from us. Look how dark it's gotten. Without the light from the stars above, we'd be lost in pitch darkness. Stars speckle the sky as far as the eye can see. Not bad at all. It's the same. I was trying to see if they actually put like real constellations in here, but I don't think so. Type of talisman inscribed with the characters Somin Shodai Shison, descendant of Somin Shodai. These talismans come in a variety of forms, ranging from smaller objects such as paper slips, wooden tags, hexagonal wooden charms, to larger objects such as hoops made of entwined miscanthus reeds, or a shimenawa, a sacred rope for purification. These talismans are generally placed at the doorways of households as a prayer for sound health and to ward off illness. Many households in Ise-shima place Somin Shodai talismans at the entrances to their homes, usually in the form of a paper slip or shimenawa. Although most families in Japan only put shimenawa up during the New Year, in Ise-shima they are kept up the whole year round, being replaced once a year on New Year's Eve. The words Somin Shodai originate from the name of the central figure in the legend of the same name. Although many versions of the tale exist throughout Japan, the tale as generally told in Ise-shima is as follows. On New Year's Eve, the deity Gozu Tenno set out to court the princess of Ryugu. However, when night fell, he found that none of the nearby inns had spare rooms to offer him, and so he turned to two brothers who lived near the sea for hospitality. The wealthy younger brother, Kotan Shodai, turned him away despite having the means to accommodate him. The elder brother, Somin Shodai, welcomed Gozu Tenno into his home, even though he lived in poverty. Pleased by the simple yet heartfelt reception he had received, Gozu Tenno rewarded his hospitality by sparing only Somin Shodai from a plague that ravaged the area the next year. Ever since, it is said that hanging a wreath of miscanthus reeds and charm declaring oneself as a descendant of Somin Shodai from one's waist will offer protection from plague and illnesses. This tradition has survived to the present day, where such charms are now used as talismans for good health and well-being. Still, being the only survivor is kind of sad. Like, I would understand if he just killed the brother that turned him away, but killing everyone? Well, if we consider the constellations you see in Japan during summer, the first one that comes to mind is the Summer Triangle. It's easy to find. Triangle, I presume it's made of 3 stars? Correct. Vega in the constellation, it's Hikoboshi and Orihime. Vega in the constellation Lyra, Deneb in the constellation Cygnus, and Altair in the constellation Aquila. This trio of bright stars can be observed close to the Milky Way in this season. What? I want to see. How do we go about identifying them? Well, first, low in the southwest portion of the sky, look for a star that glows red, Antares of the Scorpio constellation. Southwest, you say? That would be facing inland. Alright, try to find it. Okay. Koboshi Orihime. Yeah, I know the legend. Oh, it doesn't even say the legend, does it? Romantic imagery of star-crossed lovers. I guess that's good enough. Wait, that one's yellow. Arcturus from the Boots constellation. I saw the red one. Oh, here it is. I was like, I definitely saw it earlier because I kept calling it Beetlejuice, even though it isn't. Hey, there it is. Indeed, that's Antares, the brightest star in the Scorpio constellation. I found it all by myself. I'd make quite the celestial cartographer if I do say so. Hate to rain on your parade, but you were supposed to be looking for a star in the summer triangle, so try again. looking straight up for Antares. I bet you'll find Vega at the sky's zenith. Give it a shot. Okay, which one was Vega? Da, 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 da. Constellations. Where are constellations? Huh? Oh, yeah, Summer Triangle. So Vega. Vega's the one to the right. Hold on a second. My mind is going a little bit blank here. How did she say to find it from the other star? Find Antares. Look straight up, and you should spot Vega near the zenith. That one? Yeah. I was gonna say, I figured these were special, but I wasn't 100% sure, like... That's Vega. Also known as Orihime Star. Famous for its connection to the Tanabata Festival. And that must be Hikeboshi. On the opposite side of the Milky Way. There it is. That's Altair. Hikeboshi. Alright. Where's the next one? Alright. Must be... Oh, there it is. Yeah, I had to rotate. Deneb. Deneb lies within the Milky Way, which earns it the nickname Milky Way Star. It does indeed appear to be swimming nicely along the starry stream. There, located all 3 stars of the Summer Triangle. How do you like it? Good work. You've mastered the summer skies. Should I start addressing you as Professor? That's me. Feel free to rely on my knowledge. Then, tell me what is another name for Hikoboshi? Altair. I told you. I know at least that. Regardless, we've seen all there is to see here in Futami Gaura. I'd even go so far as to call this a wrap. I think that covers all the mermaid legends from Mie Prefecture. Is there anywhere else that you're keen to visit, Cersei? We haven't even visited Issei Shrine yet. If you ask me, we barely scratched the surface. You got a point there, but it's getting late, so let's save it for tomorrow, shall we? Oh, next day. Mount Asama. I wonder if there's a reason they don't give a specific date and year. Talk about a gorgeous view. Something, isn't it? This is Mount Asama's observation platform. It overlooks Toba City on one side and Issei City on the other. So that's Toba City over there, eh? What's Toba got going for it? First thing that comes to mind when thinking about Toba is Toba Castle. Built in the Sengoku period by none other than the pirate daimyo, Lord Kuki, who at one time led the Kuki naval fleet. Oh, that's more exciting than I anticipated. As for Toba Shima area, famous for having the highest population of ama divers in Japan. Oh, I knew there'd be something touristy. What a fantastic blend of culture and history. Toba. Adjacent to Ise and Shima City. Along with the city itself, its administrative area also encompasses 4 populated islands. The combined area of modern Toba City and Shima City was formerly known as Shima Province. Its coastline features one of Japan's most notable Ria coasts, and is renowned not only for its marine industries but also for its popularity as a tourist destination. Having originally sprung up as a castle town of the Toba domain, the years following the Meiji era saw Toba flourish as the center of the Shima region, with an abundance of marine products available in its waters. It is also famous for being home to the highest number of active ama divers in Japan. There are many guest houses run by ama divers and fishermen along the shore, providing visitors to the area with the opportunity to enjoy fresh fish. Mount Asama, between Ise City and Toba City. It is also known by its official name of Asamagatate, part of the Ise Shima National Park. Yeah. Kongo Shoji, temple located at the southern peak of Mount Asama, was built to protect Ise Shrine from the northeast, traditionally regarded as a spiritually vulnerable direction. Perhaps as a result, many worshippers who visit Ise Shrine also make a journey to Kongo Shoji. The observatory at the peak of the mountain offers a sweeping view of Toba City and many islands that dot Ise Bay. Let's see. Any sticker vandalism around here? I guess not. Mount Asama's peak sits at 555 meters above sea level, so it's not that high. But as it's situated at the tip of Shima Peninsula, it offers a magnificent view of Toba Bay's coastline and the outlying islands. Since we stopped by the shrine this morning, I assumed we'd take the mountain path. All I can say is this place takes my breath away. A lot of the inns in Toba are run by ama divers and fishermen. She's been packed and ready to venture forth since the early hours of the morning. Though I myself beat her to the punch, having been too excited to sleep a wink all night. Kuki. First of all, you should know that the naval troops in the Sengoku period were basically just pirates. Pirates, eh? I have also watched Sengoku Basara. They put together crews of rowdy sailors, arm them to the teeth, and have them patrol a designated area of the sea. They only actually served under their commander as a naval force when they were in battle. So that's what the Navy was like back then, huh? Ragtag bunch of pirates, only called on to do their duty in times of need. Exactly. In fact, such forces only came to be called navies during the Edo period, and that was purely a matter of convenience. As for the Kuki Navy, it was one of the pirate bands patrolling the waters of Ise Bay. A man named Kuki Yoshitaka was its commander, hence the name. He distinguished himself in the service of Oda Nobunaga and Toyotomi Hideyoshi, eventually rising to the position of daimyo of Shima Province. That's why they call him the Pirate Daimyo. He started as a lowly pirate, but rose all the way to the top of the chain of command. Did you say Oda Nobunaga? Him I've heard of. He was the Demon King of the 6-7. True, but that's a title he gave himself. Still, a pirate and a daimyo. What an enchanting combination. That may be, but he wasn't blessed where allies were concerned. Seems to have always been butting heads with his relatives. Oh? For one thing, he may have had his nephew, Sumitaka, assassinated in order to take over the Kuki clan. He also fought on the opposite side of his own son, Moritaka, in the decisive battle of Sekigahara. And in the end, spurred on by his vassals, he committed suicide on Toshijima, that island over there. So while Kuki became daimyo of Shima province, his land was confiscated during his son's rule, and his clan fell into decline. Life is truly full of ups and downs. How the mighty do fall. Must have had quite the character. And it seems like so many of these lords and politicians, they come into power and they fall out of it in their own lifetime. Their families don't seem to last very long. That reminds me, there's another fascinating legend related to the Kuki clan. Is there a legend about them related to Onibi? It's about Kuki Yoshitaka's nephew, Sumitaka. He had an extraordinarily beautiful daughter named Hatsune. I dare say I know where this is going. Whenever a legend starts with a beautiful daughter, it inevitably ends with trouble. You're not wrong there. Princess Hatsune was so beautiful that she saw no end of suitors, and her father sought to marry her off to achieve his political ends. But the princess already had a lover, so she fought against her father's plan and even ran away several times, only to be brought home. I knew it. Alas, that's what life was like for the daughters of powerful figures in those days. Well, Princess Hatsune lamented her fate. Must I be cursed with such misfortune merely for my beauty? She didn't stop there. May no beautiful daughter be born to this land again. Such was the curse she left behind, before throwing herself down a well. And so ends the legend. Not a very happy ending. Princess may have had good intentions, but I'm sure no one else felt she was doing them any favors. Yeah. I get why she'd suffer from it, but also, hey man, let some other people be pretty. Maybe wish everybody else was prettier. Good intentions. That isn't how I interpreted it. What's your take on the story then? When authority figures try to force other people's hands, they bring these things upon themselves, just asking to get cursed. I see your point. Still, the princess did take it a bit far. To me, though, it almost feels like that part was tacked on later. As if someone thought it'd make the story more impactful, and that word of it would travel farther if the princess killed herself at the end. Oh, you're right, that would change the story completely. There's something else that interests me more. Sumitaka became head of the Kuki clan in 1560, but he was so young that Yoshitaka had to be appointed as his guardian. His exact age at the time isn't known, but the common belief he was 8 years old. Nothing unusual there. Premature inheritances were a common occurrence in those days. But consider this. When Sumitaka died 24 years later, in 1584, he would have been 32 years old. Yeah? Even if we suppose that Princess Hatsune was 15, their ages don't quite add up. Wait, what? Age differences weren't so much a point of contention back then, but even so, that is a bit odd. Which begs the question, did Princess Hatsune really exist to begin with? Even if she did, was she really Sumitaka's daughter? An agate Magatama was unearthed at the palace where the princess was supposedly buried. Wait, didn't they say he died at like 32 and he had a 15-year-old daughter? I mean, that's definitely not impossible. But could they have easily been planted there to lend credibility to the tale? Well, once you start doubting, it's hard not to see lies everywhere. So skeptical of this tale, but so easy to believe in mermaids. True, and the pursuit of the unknown starts with belief, doesn't it? Well said. A certain occult researcher taught me that one. You don't say. Doo-doo. Cookie. Princess. Anything new? While Yoshitaka was in service of Nobunaga, the head of the Kuki clan was his nephew, Sumitaka, with Yoshitaka serving as his advisor. Despite his position, Sumitaka was a little more than a puppet lord and died young, reportedly due to illness, just 2 years after the Honnoji incident. However, some theories suggest that he was actually poisoned by Yoshitaka as part of a scheme to seize control of the family. Princess Hatsune. Sumitaka planned to marry her off as part of political marriage. However, Princess Hatsune refused, saying she had already promised her future to someone else. Upon learning that Princess Hatsune's beloved was a member of an enemy clan, Sumitaka was enraged and insisted she marry the person he had chosen for her. Although Princess Hatsune made numerous attempts to escape in order to be with her lover, she was caught each time and forced to return. Despairing of her fate, Princess Hatsune lamented her beauty, blaming it for her predicament. Before throwing herself down a well in sorrow. As she did so, she prayed with her last breath that no beautiful woman ever be born in that land again. Or so the legend goes. Despite the tale persevering as part of local folklore, many questions about the accuracy of Princess Hatsune's legend remain, including Sumitaka's age at the time. Ugh. Throat's going dry. Oh, these ones are so reading dense. I forgot. I'm out of practice still. So I don't think it'll be a super long stream. I think it'll be pretty short. I just realized something. Kuki Sumitaka died, or was assassinated exactly 400 years ago. 400 years ago? Oh. Is that significant? It is. A special spiritual significance is attached to periods of 400 years. For instance, the cycles of death and rebirth supposedly last 400 years. And some stories claim that a soul endures for 400 years. Of course, 800-year immortals have twice that lifespan, but as you can see, 400 years is widely considered a good cutoff point. So there's a chance something happens after 400 years? Maybe, but in any case, we should probably tread carefully here. Sounds to me as if we're in the right place at the right time. Pirates. Oh gosh. Amba divers have a long history in the Tobashima region. Evidence indicates that free divers have been fishing in the area since ancient times. You don't say. Most notably, it is said that Oben, who once presented an abalone to Yamato Hime no Mikoto, was the very first Amadiver. In fact, there is a shrine dedicated to Oben in Kuzaki that is considered a sacred place to Amadivers of the Toba-shima region. Is that so? She must have been truly legendary. Moreover, there are several poems in the famous 8th century poetry and anthology, Man Yoshu, that depict amadiving in Shima province. Amadivers also appear in dozens of ukiyo-e from the Edo period. Apparently they were a popular theme. Quite incredible to think of their method as fishing has not only endured for so long, but has been recorded in such exquisite detail. There's another point worth noting. Amadivers have long been likened to mermaids for their skill and grace. You could even argue that the Amadiver culture is so deeply rooted in this place is interwoven with the region's mermaid legends. There's a theory that the mermaids of Ise Bay were simply Amadivers. It does seem more likely there's a connection between the two. I wouldn't be surprised if they were the originators of the legend. Perhaps, but it'd be beyond disappointing if that's all there is to it. Right. By the way, there's another legend surrounding the Amadivers of the Toba-shima region regarding something called Tomokazuki. Tomokazuki. It is believed that an Amadiver may encounter a copy of herself underwater, who will then offer her an abalone. If she accepts it, the Tomokazuki doppelganger will drag her to the bottom of the sea, never to be seen again. Ah, Circe, don't say such scary stories. That's why the Amadivers of this area wear the Seiman Domon symbols on them while they dive. It's a tradition that has continued right up to the present day. There must be some reason for it to beyond pure superstition. Interesting. On another note, the Amadivers of the Toba-shima region possess some exceptional diving skills that, in addition to fishing, they also saved people from drowning and fetched objects that had sunk to the seafloor right up until the Meiji era. Sounds like they were true diving professionals. Exactly. In fact, after the Heike were defeated at Dan no Ura and were lost beneath the waves. Oh, we're back at Heike already? I wasn't aware there was a connection. Well, after that fateful battle, who do you think they sent to reclaim the legendary sword Kusanagi no Tsurugi from the seafloor? 2 Amadivers. Huh. So their lost and found services were being employed even back then. While they were diving, they came face to face with the vengeful spirit of the drowned Heike. Ugh, Circe, you're gonna give me nightmares. At least, that's what's depicted in the ukiyo-e titled In the Western Sea. The diving woman encountered the Heike in the depths of the water. Such a deep connection to think the Heike were even once depicted with Amadivers. They truly are the symbol of the Ise-shima region. Yeah, but the setting for that ukiyo-e is Dan no Ura, which isn't anywhere near here. I'm very curious now about where Dan no Ura is. Still, does go to show that Amadivers have a deep connection to the sea for a very long time. And when we're talking about Toba-shima region, Amadivers have always been, were always going to be key players. True, if you ask me, they should have been brought up before the pirates. Mind you, the Navy had a crucial role to play, too. Right, well, as fascinating as all this has been, Circe, I'd say it's high time we return to our primary topic of interest here. Oh? And what would that be? Personally, now that we visited Issei Shrine, I'm more or less satisfied. Tut tut. Cersei, you disappoint me. We didn't come here purely to chase legends, did we? Aw, here I was hoping we could move on to buying souvenirs next. You know perfectly well that my true purpose for my voyage is nothing more or less than a treasure hunt. Yeah. Of course, I'm sure all this information we've been gathering will come in handy as well. First things first, let's head back to the inn. From there, we can plan our next move. Whew. Oh. Oh my gosh, there's so much. I actually wanted to see... Ugh. I think I missed something here. So I just wanted to skim this real fast. I don't think I have time to start a whole nother chapter. Maybe there was like a choice that I chose that took me down one path and not the other. So let's see. I don't think there were any stickers around here. Not that it would have mattered, because we would have gotten it, I'm sure. Alright. Looking for a mermaid. Oh, there we go. Mermaid reason. Alright, stormy night, memory. Mermaid. Maybe there was like a recollection that appeared and I didn't like click it or something, and maybe that was why. Alright, let's try. Keep going. I'll just cut to the chase. We chose all those answers last time. We also encountered, what's-his-face? Shotaro. That's the only other one I really remember. This? That's the one. Yes, that's why. So let's go earlier in the day. I do kind of want to start this. Somehow we did it like out of order. Sato, you got a second? Oh god. I had auto on still. So I was hoping to get a bit of advice. Thing is, you're the only one I can really talk to about this. Sure, what's up? If you got a problem, leave it to me. Kameshima's living, walking, talking encyclopedia. Wow, that's a pretty impressive title, Miss Encyclopedia. Although I think the walking talking kind of implies you're living already. Either way, I hope you can help. You know that even if it kills me, I'll squeeze every last brain cell I've got to help you, Tsukasa. Right, but you're supposed to be a living encyclopedia, so don't go dying on me. Thanks for being there for me, though. Come on, let's go somewhere where no one else is around then. Pardon me. Pardon me a moment, young ladies. Yeah? You mean us? Oh, this is the housewife? Yeah, sorry for the trouble. I was hoping we could get some directions. Oh, are you here sightseeing? Welcome to Kamishima. I'm afraid it's not quite as relaxing as sightseeing. We're looking for the Wakamura residence. Would you happen to know where it is? Wakamura residence? May I ask who you are? Oh, of course. Pardon my manners. My name is Yumiko Shiki, a housewife from over in Tokyo. Housewife. And this here is Sato Kiryu. He's something like an assistant to me. My pleasure. I thought it was going to be her son. Sato Kiryu. What's his armband? Housewife. Yeah, I figured as much. Not going to say anything. You must be guests for the old man. Wakamura home is just up the slope after you head through that alley. Oh, you like him? I heard somebody say that they liked him. So I'm very curious. It's those two that I always see in people's thumbnail. I think most people did that path first. I just didn't click the recollect button. I didn't get that route. It's a bit of a maze, though. Want me to show you? Although I feel like in this game, like in the other game, I don't know, when you press curse, you obviously killed them like right away. Or you got some outcome. In this game, I don't know, like if choosing recollect doesn't give you anything. I feel like it just doesn't give you the story chart, which is like, I feel like you should just get the story chart for free just by doing the chapter, you know what I mean? I was like, why do I need to press it? Nothing changes no matter what else I do. It's just recollect. I don't know. It doesn't have the same ring as curse. So it was that way. Thank you. I believe we can manage from here. Oh, God. I gotta get it. Past recollection. Got it. Take care. Ma'am? Something the matter? No, it's nothing. I'll tell you later. We'll be on our way. Sorry for stopping you. Those two had a really strange vibe. Old man sure gets some unusual guests. I wonder if they're with that spiritual person who was giving him advice. Something off about them. Don't you think that's the kind of aura that sorcerers would give off? I know what you're getting at. I've heard those rumors too. Everyone's saying old man Wakamura has been super reliant on some shady sorcerer lately. Maybe it's also their more traditional clothing. Jujutsu. They did say they were from Tokyo. Maybe they really are sorcerers. Whatever. Come on, Sato, let's go. Yep. Hmm. August 6th. This spot should work fine. Man, look at how, now that I'm actually getting to talk about it, I'm super nervous. The little bay is quite hard to find, so hardly anyone ever comes here, including tourists. Which makes it a great place to talk in secret. Sound of waves and cicadas surround us. Typical summer day. Huh. Anything else around here? Nowhere for a sticker to hide. She suddenly looks like she can't get the words out. Maybe I should be the one to nudge and ask her from my side. I think she's gonna say she likes that boy, but what if she says she likes me? I'm worried for her, but she also looks kind of cute like this. Man. Any other thoughts? Must be really weighing on her. She's usually so quick to decide and act on anything. This is so rare for her. Alright, what's up? You said you wanted some advice, so let's hear it. How can I help you, Miss Tsukasa? I do want your advice. I'm not really sure where to start. Is she sad that she's worried about maybe because she's going to go back to school? Or maybe she's going to be separated from me? I guess this isn't really an easy topic for her. In that case, let me start her off with another topic to loosen her up. Ooh. TV. That reminds me. Did you catch the 2-hour suspense drama the other day? Alright, you said you were looking forward to it. I didn't see it. Mom was watching a period drama. Darn. That actor you liked had a good part. He turned out to be a killer, though. Spoilers! Wish I could have watched it. You did kind of spoil it, though. Wish we had a VCR like yours. You can record music shows and watch them over and over, right? That sounds amazing. Not many houses on the island have one, though. Yeah, I know it's a bit of a luxury, but being able to record and keep TV programs is the best. Huh. You love TV way more than I do. It's great you can enjoy it whenever you like. More TV. You really can't get enough of your TV. You think... Huh? You think I watch too much? How much did you watch this summer? Well... I guess I'm pretty much always watching whenever I'm home. Nice. You should thank old man Wakamura for letting you watch as much as you want. Yeah, back in the day. Recording things on the VCR. Now I don't even really watch anything on the TV. I've said this before, but like, I unplugged my TV. I still have it in case I need it for anything, but it's just kind of like, I don't really have it. I don't really have much need for it because I watch everything on my computer. Or my phone, even. Or a tablet, something like that. And I feel like as TVs got bigger and bigger, like, I don't know. I just don't really like to, I just didn't really want to like center my entire living room around a TV. Because I don't have as much space, you know? I only have one bedroom, so my computer stuff is in my living room. Long ago, when I lived with my parents after college, it was in my bedroom, but I try not to do that. I did move it in there temporarily to see if I liked it, but I find it to be too distracting because then I spend like 100% of my time in my bedroom. So it's kind of nice to at least move between different rooms throughout the day, and then I don't have to worry about like my PC waking up at night or anything. Because even if you turn like most of the lights off, there's still like always like one or two small ambient lights or fan noises that suddenly will like shock you. Yeah, I would love to have. See, my conflicting thought about this is that if I do have an office though, and I have my PC in there, the thing is, then I would probably want to move like some of my bookshelves and my figurine collection in there, my figurine shelves in there. But then my living room would be kind of empty. So I feel like maybe it's for the best that right now, anyways, that all my things are in the living room. Cause like I said before, the fact that I just don't keep my TV plugged in, like what else is there in a living room? I feel like living rooms these days are like a couch and one or two chairs if you need to have chairs for guests. Maybe a TV or a fireplace if you're fancy. But like if I moved my desk and my figure stuff, I'd just have my couch in my living room. That'd be it. And low key, I wouldn't mind having like a slightly big office so I could keep a couch in there. Cause like I enjoy a couch nap every now and then, you know? But I guess the plus side of like having a PC office is that, especially for things like streaming, there's, you know, smaller room means like less voice echoey. I don't know. Sometimes I think it'd still be nice. Living rooms for Gundam. Hey man, I have figures everywhere. I have figures in my bedroom. Cause like right now, so I keep most of my books in my bedroom. My bookshelves are near my bed. And in my living room though, that's where I have my glass display cases for figurines. But I do have some of my figurines on my bookshelf bedroom. Those ones are more likely to get dusty though, because they're not protected by glass or anything. I always think about getting a new bookshelf, a third one. I don't know. I'm always thinking about redecorating like how I display all my books and figurines and stuff. You know, actually, even my TV stand. I have this really big TV stand that my parents got rid of when they moved. And when I stopped using my TV, it's kind of you know, it's because it's a stand, it's short but very long, but it's kind of like in a slightly grid formation. Not quite like the IKEA kind of grid furniture, but it's a similar idea, you know, it's basic boxy shelves. And so when I stopped using my TV, I ended up just turning it on its side, so now it just looked like another giant bookshelf in my living room. I keep like some of my other model kits in there, and a couple of other figures that I just didn't open, and my DVD collection, my anime movies. And I have some other miscellaneous books in there, things like that don't really match, or like a couple childhood things like that. I need to clean. I always need to clean. It never ends. We're hardly ever allowed to watch TV at boarding school. Even at home, I'm always fighting over what to watch with Ma. Makes it darn hard for me to keep up with the conversation at school, you know? TV's just got too much influence on everyone. Can't blame them either, so it's pretty fun. More TV. Speaking of which, I saw something on the morning news. Yeah? What happened? They say an Ama diver on the mainland went missing at sea. I saw that too. I hope they find her safe. Apparently they're still searching, but it goes to show how dangerous being an Ama diver is. Yeah, even I've had a couple of moments out there that could have been way too close. When the catch is right in front of you, it's easy to think you can go a little bit farther and end up pushing it too far. Sounds scary. You better be safe out there. Now that I think about it, a little while back, there was that story about human bones found on the seabed near Toba. Whoa, never heard about that. Really creepy. Maybe it was someone who went missing at sea. Hope it isn't like a curse or anything. Probably the Heike curse. Yeah, well, the sea can be pretty scary. The old Ama grannies always told us, we islanders live with the sea. Never forget how fearsome it can be. That's why Ama divers wear charms and mind proper rites, right? Yep. Gratitude, manners, restraint towards the sea are never to be forgotten. That's why the first thing they teach you, that's the first thing they teach you when you start diving. More TV. You know, Sato, compared to when you first arrived on the island, you've really brightened up. Maybe, might be thanks to all the TV. Oh, was I really that gloomy before? Yeah, up until about a month ago, I felt like there was always a little cloud hanging over you whenever we spoke. It was like you were kind of depressed all the time. Like nothing in the world really mattered to you. Ugh, that's how I came off. Sorry for being such a downer. Yeah, you didn't crack jokes like you do now, either. But this you, way better. Having fun stuff going on really brought you to life. Even though they've talked a little bit about characters and crushes and stuff. Low key, kind of Yuza and Azami shipper. But also, more than that, Sato and Tsukasa are cute together. Even if they are just oomphs. I really like Sato. Makes sense. I'll try to keep up the positivity. I guess I'll be heading back to the mainland soon now that Obon holidays are over. Yeah, I head back to my boarding school in 3 days. So I've only got until the day after tomorrow to take it easy here. How? Time sure flew by. I'm really gonna miss you. Me too. Only 2 days left. 2 days. What am I gonna do? Huh? Maybe it's time sensitive. So the plans you were talking about for the day after tomorrow. I guess it's to get together with the others before you head back? Oh yeah, we did that already on the beach, didn't we? That's right. Plans with Azami and Yuza. I couldn't give them much time this trip, so I figured they might be feeling a bit left out. Makes sense. You're pretty close friends. Totally. Even growing up, they still do the dumbest stuff. Just can't leave them be. Maybe I should leave you all to enjoy it without me then. No way. They're the lucky ones to have someone as cute as you come along with me. Man, can't believe my summer break's already coming to an end. Kinda sad. Alright, I'm ready. I'll just say it. Alright? The thing is, I think I like someone. Alright, go on. We hardly get to see each other anymore. I want to tell him how I feel while I'm still on the island. Makes sense. I'll help however I can. As Kameshima's living encyclopedia, I've seen this all on TV before. I probably know a thing or two that can help. Probably. You don't sound that confident, which kind of makes me a little nervous, but I can tell you mean it. Thanks. I just don't really know what to do. So, who's the lucky guy or gal? Huh? Who do you mean? No way. Don't tell me you think I like Azami or Yuza. Wait, it's not? Me falling for one of them? Not a chance. They're basically like brothers to me. I could never picture a romantic relationship with them. Oops, sorry, I just assumed. I call myself the living, walking, talking encyclopedia and brag that I've seen it all on TV. But I guess I don't know anything. This is so embarrassing. I'm gonna go die now. Whoa, don't sweat it. No dying. So then who is it? No point dragging it out. I'll just tell you. It's Shotaro. Oh, Mr. Wakamura-san? I see. He's sincere, smart, pretty handsome. I can see why you'd like him. Right? He's back visiting the island at the moment. He usually goes to university in Tokyo. I've secretly admired him for ages, but I always just thought he saw me as a kid. I figured he'd never be interested. You get it? It's the popped collar, man. That's what I say. He's he's just so tokusatsu hero vibes. I don't know what it is. I feel like something about the hair, too, the styling. Now I go to school on the mainland by myself, and I'm even working as an alma diver. I think he might see me as more of an adult now. More than before. Makes sense. So you want to let him know how you feel while he's still on the island. Maybe it's all just one-sided on my end, but I can't keep these feelings bottled up. Then tell him. I'm with you. Shotaro, huh? We do live under the same roof, but I'm holed up in my room most days, so we don't really interact that much. At this rate, I'll have no advice to give. What should I do? I want to tell Shotaro how I feel by the day after tomorrow. What do you think I should do? You're staying with the Wakamuras right now, right? Know anything about him that might help? I'm afraid Miss Encyclopedia might not have that kind of info. You don't have much info at all, do you? I mean, he's honestly not home most of the time. So there's a lot I don't know about him. Feels like he's always got something to do. Checking in on folks all over the island. Like, don't suppose he has a girlfriend in Tokyo or anything. I'm afraid I'm not sure. Tokyo's packed with beautiful girls, right? A guy like him wouldn't be left alone for long. Well, from what I've seen, I haven't noticed him keeping in touch with anyone. Then what about what he likes? Something he'd be happy to get? Let me think. Nothing comes to mind. I really may as well just go die somewhere. Come on. Don't say that. Thinking it through with me is more than enough. You've got to stop joking about dying like that. Never. It sounds like one of my friends. No dying. Tsukasa, how about this? Pretty sure I can ask Shotaro to meet us somewhere. I'll organize it for now, and we can plan from there. How does that sound? Oh, sounds good. Thanks so much, Sato. So, we kicked around ideas the whole way back, but in the end, writing a love letter and handing it to him is the best call. That's the plan, yeah? Yep, since way back when, tried and true has always been a love letter. Classic method. I like it. You're heading out to dive tomorrow morning, right? Yeah, weather's looking good. Alrighty. I'll ask him to come to a bay a little after noon. Does that work for you? Yep, just need to have the letter ready by tomorrow. Can you look it over before I give it to him? Of course. I'll fix it up even if it kills me. Thanks. I'll write it even if it kills me. I'm already so nervous. Hey, you two over there. Huh? Is that who I think it is? It's him. Speak of the devil. Sorry to interrupt. Oh, he's totally glowing as usual. Something wrong? I feel like Tsukasa is actually the type a lot of people would go for. She's very cute. She's very busty. She has really unique and cute mouth and stuff like that. But I think, like, in terms of characters that I find more, maybe it sounds weird to say, more relatable, I really like Sato. Have you seen Azami? He didn't show up for today's association meeting. Oh, I see. I haven't seen him today. I think I know where he is. I'll go get him. Oh, you do? Knew I could count on you, Tsukasa. I'll let you handle it then. Sure, no problem. Oh man, he called me by my name. I'm so fired up right now. Let's do it. Yeah, let's. First off, let's find those two. Bet they're up to the Kantekisho ruins. Let's go, Sato. Right behind you. Ah, nice. Okay. So we got that part. Oh man, we got a lot to do now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whew. Although I think I'm going to stop here. Because I said I wasn't going to make... which two? Shotaro and... Tsukasa? Or Tsukasa and Sato? I didn't really say it, but since the beginning, I've thought Tsukasa and Sato would be a cute pair. Ugh, short stream. Once again, I'll try to stream either tomorrow or the day after. Either. Same. that's my shipper heart, is I'm like, you know what? So many things are good. I mean, I say that, but I definitely have, you know, no TPs and pairings that I don't like. But I'm just saying that, like, right now I'm still kind of just feeling them out, so I'm not, like, totally invested in one ship over another. I don't know why, but like in the very beginning, especially around the beach, I had a moment where I thought that maybe Sato and Yuza. But whatever, it's all good. This is pretty fun. I'm definitely enjoying like how they tied together like all these histories and myths. Although I don't think the shipping in this game will ever match up to the shipping in Seven Mysteries of Honjo. Like Tsutsumi, the detective guy, him and Ario, his detective assistant, or him and Nejima, the serial killer, were so freaking good, man. Also in that game, Mio and Yako were also a cute girl duo. I really need to read that manga, man. It's so good. I don't remember. Are you familiar with the Seven Mysteries of Honjo? If you're not, you should play it or watch somebody else play it. It's so freaking good, man. You really gotta get on that if you haven't. You'll probably play it. You have to. It's so good. Then I won't spoil too much. You mostly stream Gundam, yeah? Do you really stream? Do you ever stream like games? I can't remember. I'm so bad about like actually watching other people on Twitch too. I've tried to like turn on my notifications so that way I actually remember to check in on people. Oh, it's hard to do games where there's so much talking. It's for sure challenging. I don't know how I did so much of it like in the previous year or two. I feel like now I'm just like constantly like I was trying to go a lot slower at the beginning so I wouldn't trip over my words as much, but then I started to get tired. Marshall B games? Nice. Games are fun. I said before, but I may do a city's skyline stream sometime. Just so I can be like, here's the stupid game where I just draw grids on maps and build cities. Tutorial guide? No way, man. I'm still watching other people's tutorials and builds. I feel like a lot of these like really popular cities skylines builders are actually like they genuinely work in similar fields like I don't know, like city building or city planning or whatever. So it's so interesting how they like talk with like more professional terms. And it's like, and these are the kinds of people whose channel is like only basically building games, like stuff like this or Foundation or other things. So I'm definitely not going to be that level. There's still like so much stuff that I don't really know because I've only played it for like a week. And I haven't even, there's things in the game that I haven't even unlocked because I'm like, either you have to get to a certain threshold or you got to be willing to like, I don't know, kill everybody. I don't think it would actually be very fun to watch me build because it'd mostly be me in silence just trying to very slowly come up with a grid. I'll get there someday. You know what? No, that's fine. I'm satisfied with it just being a game that it's a very easy game for me to just like mindlessly no life, sit in a single place for 12 hours straight, no breaks. Just put a video on in the background and let yourself go. I'm happy with that, It's not necessarily a game that I would want to stream a lot of. It's a good off-stream game for me. All right, time for sleep. Actually, I'm gonna go take a shower. I'm greasy. Good night. Or good morning if you are in a place where it is morning.